The preseason is behind us, so all eyes are on the Steelers and NFL Week 1. Who you got? Falcons or Steelers? I want to see more ATLs in our chat right now than the Steelers channel at Chat Sports. So go ahead and drop an ATL if you got the Falcons winning Week 1. Could the Falcons have one more big move in them? Welcome on into Falcons Today by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here, breaking down the latest on Rams linebacker Ernest Jones IV. This might not be a household name, but I'm willing to wager after 4 to 5 minutes of this video, you're going to be thoroughly impressed with the Rams linebacker who played under Raheem Morris in LA and is now seeking a trade potentially. So here's what we know. The Rams have granted Jones permission to seek a trade as he is going into the final year of his rookie contract. He's likely looking for a contract extension, and the Rams are playing hardball. Fun fact, the Rams have not extended a player on defense since Aaron Donald back in 2018. So they like to let guys run out their rookie contracts, go to free agency, sign bigger deals elsewhere, and they replace them in the draft, which is kind of ironic since it's the Rams. They hate the NFL draft. But he played under Raheem Morris in LA throughout his first 3 seasons of the NFL. And take a moment to look at the rise in Ernest Jones from year 1 to year 3. Last year, 145 tackles, 14 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks, 6 pass breakups. I mean, just a snapshot of great run stopper, 14 tackles for loss, 145 tackles. Great pass rusher for a non-pass rushing position, the inside linebacker, 4.5 sacks. And pretty darn good in coverage with 6 pass breakups. Ernest Jones is an extremely well-rounded linebacker who Pro Football Focus ranked 13th out of 82 qualifying linebackers last year. He's not a Fred Warner or a Roquan Smith because he doesn't have extreme athleticism or size. But man, does he fill up the stat sheet in a good way. There's a lot to like about Ernest Jones. I think he's one of the most underrated players in football. If you don't believe me, I would say one of the godfathers of NFL sports YouTube, Brett Coleman, if you're familiar with his work. He recently put out a video that I just got done watching just a few days ago that highlighted Ernest Jones in it. NFL's most underrated defenders, and what do you know, the Rams linebacker is in that video. I recommend go watch it, and I think you'll walk away very impressed with Jones and what he's capable of doing and why any team would be happy to have his services. So now that we have good ideas who Ernest Jones is, the 3rd-round pick out of South Carolina, does Raheem Morris want his former star linebacker that doesn't have a Pro Bowl, doesn't have an All-Pro, but I mean, A.J. Terrell doesn't have a Pro Bowl, and I think we can all agree he's a really good corner. So Pro Bowls are popularity contests, and when you're a 3rd-round pick by the Rams and not a huge NFL market team like the Cowboys or an NFC East team, you know what I mean? You can be overlooked from time to time, and I wouldn't be shocked if Raheem Morris goes, yeah, we've already made a handful of big moves. The Falcons traded for Matthew Judon, of course. They then followed that trade up by signing Justin Simmons to a 1-year, $8 million contract. What's one more drop in the bucket for completing this defense if he's not impressed by what he has seen elsewhere, or he just loves Ernest Jones as a player after coaching him the last couple of years in the City of Angels and figures, Terry, I need that guy. Like, this is not a want. This is a need. This would put our defense well over the top, and we know how good our offense is going to be with Cousins, London, Pitts, and Robinson. Now, before we talk more about this subject, I do have to fill everyone in on our friends over at Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. You could turn $10 into $1,000 with as little as 4 correct picks. Now, let me give you an example of my selections for NFL Week 1. I like the more, call me crazy, on Caleb Williams at 0.5 passing yards. Yeah, Prize Picks does these really cool promotions frequently, so go check them out. Also like the less on Isaiah Pacheco's rushing yards, 66.5 against a good Baltimore defense. I like the more on Justin Tucker at 1.5 field goals and Drake London's receiving yards at 60 5.5. So if you like my selections and want to ride with me for week 1, download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS. And when you do that, they're going to give you a deposit match up to $100. If you take those selections that I just put on screen, you can turn $20 into $200. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Now, the subject that we have not broached yet in this Ernest Jones trade is, why would the Falcons do this? They are set at inside linebacker. And I don't disagree, right? Caden Ellis, Troy Anderson, Nate Landman are all very capable starting linebackers. But what if Raheem Morris goes, I didn't sign Caden Ellis. I didn't draft Troy Anderson in the second round, but I was a part of Ernest Jones going to the Rams, and I would like to bring him over to Atlanta if he's available. So this is a rough trade idea for what it could look like. Atlanta gets Ernest Jones. The Rams get Nate Landman, who's got more than 1 year left on his rookie deal, so longer control for LA for cheap. And you're going to have to toss in a draft pick because Ernest Jones is at a higher level than Nate Landman. I think it could be a 5th-round draft pick. The Falcons don't have one in 2025, so it'd have to be a 2026. This honestly feels way too light for Ernest Jones, who we saw earlier was so dominant last year. 145 tackles, 14 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks, 6 pass breakups. Like, that's an absolute playmaker, middle linebacker that just, those guys don't come around very often this day and age, right? You don't see them going round 1 in the NFL draft very much like they used to. So I wouldn't be shocked if Atlanta goes, hey, this is kind of a win-win for both parties. We'll add Ernest Jones. Maybe we kick Caden Ellis to outside linebacker and run Jones and Jones and Anderson, and then go Judon and Ellis and have Carter and Ebiketie kind of rotate in for fresh legs. And for the Rams, I mean, they can get Nate Landman, who we saw last year was a really good player that flourished when he filled in for Troy Anderson, and a 5th-round draft pick, and they get something for a guy that could be on the way out if they don't have any plans to extend him or re-sign him after this year. Because if Ernest Jones has back-to-back seasons like what he had in 2023 this year, he's going to be an expensive guy in free agency. I think ultimately this might be a situation worth monitoring. Do the Falcons have a dire need at inside linebacker? No. If Ernest Jones was a linebacker for the Seahawks, we probably wouldn't be talking about it. But he's not. He's a linebacker for the Rams, where Jimmy Lake and Raheem Morris come from. And who knows from a personal level how much those coaches love Ernest Jones as a player and figured, wow, we didn't think we'd have any chance of getting him, but this could be a win-win for both parties. Let's make a deal here. So circling back to this trade idea, would you do this trade? I mean, added Judon, you added Simmons. Ernest Jones is one of the most underappreciated linebackers, just defenders, period, in football. This could be a really fun trade that maybe your casual fan doesn't pick up on, but those that watch ball know Jones is awesome, and the Rams could come away with a pretty happy compensation and a really nice up-and-coming player in Landman and an early day 3 draft pick. So to wrap up the video, I just want to show some quick love to the Dirty Birds Club. Those of you that sent in $100 in super chats during our watch parties. Jose Santana, Ken Ballard, and Trey1222. Shout out to you 3 for supporting the channel, really going above and beyond. For everyone that likes and comments our videos, thank you guys as well. But I definitely want to show some extra love to Jose, Ken, and Trey for really going above and beyond to support us here at Falcons Today. And if you want to get shout outs throughout the entire 2024 season, $100 super chat during our game day watch parties, and we'll add you to the Dirty Birds Club. That's going to do it for us on today's episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do so. We have free daily content here at Falcons Today. It's the largest Falcons YouTube community out there, so lock yourself in for the best free Falcons content available.